The dream began with this guy, John. He turned me from a land lover to a sea dweller.
To get Kim to love the water as much as I do, I started slowly. First the Maritime Museum at Darling Harbour in Sydney, then just a small taste on the water to whet her appetite, Lake Burley Griffin on some Hobie cats in Canberra. At the end of it, she was enjoying it as much as I. The bigger test was a week booked on a bareboat charter in the Whitsundays on a Catalina 32, sailing around the islands in the Whitsundays. Kim was getting way too comfortable and threatening to cast me adrift while I was bailing out the dinghy. There, my plan had worked, and the dream was Kim's as well.
Life got away from us for a while. We bought a house, we got married, life was good. But then 2 months after we were married, John had a mini stroke. Life is too short, so the hunt for a boat to sail around the world had begun.
I seconded my brother, who was an avid yachtsman like myself, to join me when Kim was unavailable to search as well. Our first look at a boat was at the Gippsland Lakes in Victoria, and we went down to look at a 54-footer that was being built, hadn't been in the water. Unfortunately, we worked out that it was too expensive. We made a lot of phone calls and found the cost to transport it from the property to the nearest water that we could launch the boat was just unfortunately way too expensive, so we let it go. The next trip was a couple of trips down to Geelong in Victoria to look at 2 different boats. They both turned out, unfortunately, not to be worthwhile to buy. We then decided, after a few phone calls, to fly to Penang in Malaysia. There was a Roberts 40-foot spray design ketch over there, going at a very good price. Australian owner and Australian registered, so it was worthwhile having a look. So Kim and I jumped on a flight and went overseas to have a look at this Roberts spray.
And to my surprise, after a really good look, John said no.
Unfortunately, the boat required just a little bit too much work. Some of the frames across the centre bilge supports were rusted out.
So we decided to have a look around Penang, and there's a lot of artworks on the walls, and we went to the upside down house. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very cool.
And then a beautiful flight back.
So then our search kept on going. Well, our search continued. My brother went to Brisbane on our behalf. Had no luck, the boat was a bit of a wreck. About a couple of weeks later after that, Kim and I flew to Cairns, looked at a 33-foot steel yacht up in Cairns. The boat was generally quite good, and Kim actually really liked the boat. Unfortunately, we seemed to luck out again. We had problems with the motor at the time overheating, and no luck with the owner wanting to get anything done. So after discussions, we decided it wasn't worth it and it was going to be too expensive to get things repaired. So we came back to home.
And it just felt like we were never going to get a boat. So John and his brother said there were some boats in Sydney, and one of them was Huon Cry. And I just thought I'll just let them look at it because I didn't want it because it was too expensive. But lo and behold, I sat in her and I fell in love. This week,
come and meet our yachting crew.
Catch you then.